everyone, welcome back. And of course, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Yanni, and of course, this is Diane. We are doing together this DIY channel. If you like this content, of course, because I want to keep it short, if you like this content, click the red subscribe button. And of course, if you want to see more DIYs, come on over to our description box. There you find all the links for our YouTube channels with lots and lots of DIYs to see. For today, of course, we are going to make 2 new tumbling towel blocks inspiration DIY. So if you like this, get out your tumbling towel blocks, get out your glue gun and join us. And if you only want to watch, have fun watching. You see already on my table are the pieces, the main pieces we need, and this is a couple of tumbling towel blocks. We need a pencil. Here in the Netherlands we call it a lineaal, and you call it a ruler, if I am correct. Some glue sticks, some paint, some wax, my glue gun of course, and on the sides you see here already I have a piece of cardboard, an old piece of cardboard from an old box. So use whatever you have laying around. So what we're going to do, we are going to make a kind of a picture box, but I'm going to make it for the spring season, but you can also do it for Mother's Day with your children, or maybe for your mother. It doesn't matter, but it is a nice gift to have. So we are going to make first the bottom. For the bottom we are going to need 27 blocks. We are going to make 3 rows. If you're counting with me, of course, we are going to do 3 rows of 9 blocks, of course. And of course, we just make 1 on the side. On the smaller side, we are going to glue them together like this. And we are going to squeeze it and press it down. And of course, number 3, like this. Press it down, and number 4, and you find this kind of blocks anywhere. If you're not familiar with the Jenga blocks or tumbling towel blocks, just how you call them, you can find them really everywhere. Here in the Netherlands, it's sometimes a little bit hard to get them in the store, so you have to order them online. But most of the times, a lot of stores will have them, at least online, they will have them. Amazon has them. Of course, I tried also on AliExpress, but AliExpress is really expensive with the blocks. So that's not something I recommend, because that's really very expensive. But I hear the Dollar Tree has them, but also the Dollar Tree, the Dollar Tree, the Dollar Tree. The Dollar Tree. I'm so sorry. How do I get with a Dollar Tree? I mean the Dollar Tree. They have them, but I hear from a couple of friends they also have difficulties delivering them. So, of course, you have to look for them, because 3, I have to count 1 more, and then we already have our first row of 9, like this. And maybe even you can find them in a thrift store. It's also a possibility. Then you even have them much cheaper. You see, this is already 1 row of 9, and you see already 1 block is a little bit smaller than the other one. But that's always the hard thing with blocks, because they are made with a machine. You never get exactly the same measurement, but we work with it. I will do the other 2 rows a little bit faster. All the 3 rows are finished, and you see already on one of them is a mark on top of here. You always have with the packets, there's always one, at least here in the Netherlands, one with some mark on it. But we are going to paint it, and we do it on the bottom, so you won't see it back. But if you are really looking carefully, you can see so good that it is not the same measurement. So this package is again really hard to glue together. So this will be a little kind of an experiment, because I hope everything will stick together, because The openings are sometimes very wide, but we are going to work with it and do our best. We try what we can, like this. And of course you can do it also with some wood glue. I'm doing it this time with my glue gun, but of course you can go with your wood glue, but that takes always a little bit longer to dry. So again, glue it against to each other and squeeze it until it is dried up like this. And now we already have the bottom of our, of course, our picture frame box, photo box, just how you call it. And always I try to give my own inspiration on it, so maybe it will turn out totally different. we don't know. You see already, like this is already the bottom. And you see some little gaps, and I know you can fill it up with some speckle. A lot of our friends said so. I have to see if it does bother me or not, because it will be the inside of the box. So I have to see. So this is already one. We are going to now for the sides. For every side we need 8 blocks. So we're going to do 4 sets of 2, like this. Place them down, press it and remove your glue, like this. This is one. We're going for the second one, and like this. And the third, like this. And the last one, because we need 4 sides for our side, like this. And press it down, and like this. And now we are going to make a square out of it, but it's very easy. I think you already know how to make a square. So I'm going to glue a little bit of glue on the sides, like here, and place it against each other like this. This is one. We are going to place this one on this side, so not in between here, but of course like here. So we're going to do some glue on the outside of here, and we are going to just simply lay it over here and measure it out like this. And if everything is correct, this one will fill in the rest, and it does. So this is very easy. We are going to do some glue on this side and on the tops, and we are going to lay it down like this, squeeze it and press it down, and wait a couple of seconds until it is dried up, or else your square will fall apart. And you see already, this is one of your squares, and of course I will make 4 of them, but a little bit faster again. Already our 4 sides for our little box, picture box. What we're going to do, I'm going to get my cardboard, and I'm going to measure out, because my blocks are from middle to until this middle, over here and over here, 15 centimeters. I don't know how they are in inches and how you call it. You can look it up on Google. So I use 15 centimeters on each side, so just a nice square. So I'm going to make 4 of them, because we need 4 of this piece. And maybe I do for certainty already 1 extra, because maybe we also make a top one. So we will see if this will work out or not. But if you are doing the same DIY, make also 5 squares of 15 by 15. And I have all my little squares already cut out, so I am really happy. It did go very easy, I must say, because it's a little bit of a thicker cardboard, but it did go well. So what I'm going to do, I was always thinking, because the tumbling tower blocks are always a little bit vulnerable, so they are break easily, and I was thinking, I have my cardboard over here. Why don't I place a little piece of cardboard on the underside of our blocks to be sure that the bottom of our picture box won't break, because we don't want that. So of course I'm going to cut out a little piece like this. So I'm going to lay it over here and just go a little bit out of the sides like this. And I'm going to get it under it over here. And now I'm just going to cut off a little piece of our cardboard, and you see already it is a little bit it's a little bit of a struggle to get it off. But of course we already have one, and it doesn't matter if it is a little bit out of line. Just cut it a little bit with your scissors. You see already I say a lot of a little bit. Sometimes I have, from those kind of words, I say a lot. Bear with me, that's just English for beginners. Don't mind that. And of course did pull everything off like this. And now we almost, and this is of course still a little piece off. And I just a kind of lady who will, which is bothering me that things are not really in a line. So don't worry about that. So I think I'm going to glue this on top of here, and then I'm going to do some fills in each corner, but I usually see that in a moment. Of course, for gluing your piece of cardboard on top of here, you can use anything, but I am going to use my Mod Podge. It's also a little bit like school glue, so it doesn't matter. I'm just going to do a lot of my Mod Podge on top of here, and I'm just going to glue it on here. But of course, use anything you like. If you like other glue, it's also fine. But of course, I don't use my glue for my glue gun, because it will dry in too fast before I have my everything glued. He's already dried up in the place where I started it. So most of the time I'm always a little bit too late for it. So I'm going to make everything like this, go over the middle and over here, and then be sure that you have everything filled up. And if you go to the sides, it doesn't matter, it dries up, and it dries up clearly. So you don't have to be afraid that you see some things. So like here, and I'm just going to place it over here and just let it dry. And it will dry itself in a couple of minutes like this. And of course, you see, these are the fills I'm going to glue on each corner like here. And now I'm sure that my picture box is not scratching my table when we are going to turn it over and work with it. So we let this dry, and then we're going to do the next step. Our bottom is dried up, and you see already it is very sturdy, because when Mod Podge is drying, it is really good glue. So if you want to glue something, even think about Mod Podge, because Mod Podge is also gluing very nice. I'm going to place our bottom aside. We are going to take a picture frame we made, and I'm going to take a piece of our cardboard we just cut out. What I'm going to do, I'm using this side for the top, because this was a very it looks like shiny cover, because and then your Mod Podge is not gluing the best on top of here. So I'm going to use this piece, and I'm going to get myself a couple of pictures I will make on my computer. Of course, I won't bore you with that this time to show you how I make it. So I will show you now which picture I made for my sides of my picture box. And here you see my own made pictures, and I am really loving it. I chose this one for the top. I am using this and this two for the sides. Of course, two of this one and two on the top ones. And we are going to Mod Podge them on top of our cardboard, but you also can do it in a different way. And like I said, you can do your pictures in a different way. What I mean about it, so you have your frame, you have your cardboard, and if you only just use the picture, not Mod Podge it on top of here, just place it in. You glue only this sides and you leave the top open. You can always squeeze your picture from behind just to get it back on the back side of your frame like this. So you have it this way and this is coming out. You can even place it on top and just squeeze it in like this, but I am choosing for to Mod Podge it, but then you have to keep it the same way that it will be will turn out. I hope I make sense. When I hear myself, I don't know. We'll see how this will turn out. At least I am going to do Mod Podge it on top of here, but you can use it as a pocket and then squeeze your own picture inside of it. I think that's a better explanation. So I will cut all the pictures out and then we're going to do them on top. You see, I did cut out our prints, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my piece of cardboard and I'm going to do one print on this one, and of course this one also, and two on this one. So it's very easy, just do some Mod Podge on top of it. And of course I know you already think how easy is Mod Podging, and it is easy. So like we did with the bottom, just do all of them in your Mod Podge on top of here. And I always do everything on top of here because this side is gluing, like I said earlier, is sticking better than the other side. So I'm going to go and do also a little bit on the sides. Just take the sides with you like this, and then you can get your picture nicer around it like this. And very easily just go over it a couple of times so it can suck in a little bit better like this. And now we're going to place our picture on top of here, and just, if everything is fitting right, he is belong on here like this, and a little bit down, and just move over it and just place them on top. And it doesn't have to be very neat because the picture frame will be over it and you won't see the rest anymore. I will do the rest of the pictures. I have glued all our pictures on top of our sides, but of course, like I told you, I also have this two pictures for the top, so I will use one of them. And we did cut a couple of extra cardboard, so I'm going to do, if I will use it, I have it already laying around, so I'm going to do also the top. I'm going to do with one board, the same like we did with the sides. And I'm using a different picture because I don't use for the top a picture with some text on top of it. So I'm only using a picture of it. And of course, you can use any picture. I use this one, but of course you can use anything. You can also go over to our free printables. There you find also pictures you can use for this picture frame, but you also can use your family. So it doesn't have to be just a print like this. You can also use pictures from yourself or from your children or grandchildren, something else, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to lay it on top of here, like this again, like we did with the other ones. And of course I have to place it a little bit above, like this. And of course I let it dry again for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to make the sides. Now we are going to take our frames and we are going to give it some wax. And what I'm going to do, of course, I don't have to wax the back side because we are doing some picture on top of it. We are going to do only the front side, the inside line like this, and we are going to do this side and this side. And of course then we going to glue our picture on top of here. But first we are going to give it some furniture wax because that gives always a nice, more of a rustic look like this. But of course you can paint it in the white color, black color, any color you like. And of course I will do all of them, and then we're going to do the next step. Of course, we did let dry in the wax a couple of minutes. Most of the time I do 25 minutes. I take a piece of kitchen towels and of course I go over it and wipe away the extra wax we don't need, so everything is a smooth slate before we're going to glue our pictures on top of here. Everything is in the wax and wiped out. And what we're going to do now, we're going to really place our pictures inside. So we take one of the frames and we are going to get one of our pictures. And of course you see already, if we place it over it, you will see that they are fitting very nicely like this. And of course I know you see the words backwards, but that's just my telephone. Don't worry, it will be okay. So I will glue all four of them on top of here. I'm going to turn over my frame and like this, and I'm going to get my Mod Podge because I will glue it with some Mod Podge. Like this, go over the sides first a little bit and then wipe it out and like this, because this is drying up very clearly, so that's why I use this one. And if I do it with my, like I said earlier, with my glue gun, everything is already it's already dried up before I have the rest. So most of the time then it's always very hard to get it off like this. And I'm going to do just like this very nicely around the sides and let it dry in for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to take our picture, turn it over and place it on top. But I let it dry in for a couple of minutes, I think so, and then I place it on top. So it did dry in for a little moment, and then I'm going to place it on top of here, and be sure that you have it in the middle and look over to the other side if you have it not seeing the white sides, because we don't want to see the white place. So, and then we are going to keep it in place for a little moment. Before we can place it on top of our bottom, we first have to make a square out of the picture frame. So I'm going to place one of them like this, and I'm going to do some glue on here like this. And of course, I hope that it sticks all right, because I was debating if I would use glue gun or just this piece. So I'm going to place it on top of here and just squeeze it and press it down until it is dried up. And this way we are going to do all sides. So like this, I'm turning it over again. And of course I have to look before I glue the other one, because I need this one and not the other one, or else it won't be in the right thing. I want to have two on each side like this. And I'm going to place some glue extra like this, and then I'm going to place this one on top of here this way, and again squeeze it and press it down like this. And now we only need to do this one, and of course he is totally fitting inside of here. I have my box in each other, but it was really a task. I tried everything. I am always honored with my DIYs, because you can come to the same problem that I have. I used some glue from a glue gun. I used normal glue. I used Mod Podge, because that's also gluing very strong. And at the end I was so desperate, I used again wood glue. But of course it was so hard to get it really fixed to each other, because the blocks were a little offline, not totally the straight line, because the blocks are never the same size. So this was really a struggle. So beware of that. Don't worry, because at the end you will get it. But I used wood glue. Maybe you can also use wood glue, because the rest was really a disaster. So we will see how this will turn out. And now you see I'm at the bottom, and I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to do some wood glue also again on the underside of our box, and we are going to glue it on top of here. So I'm not even trying to use other glue. So, but if you want to use other glue, of course, be free. And maybe you have E6000, maybe that's even better than the wood of the glue we have here. But in the Netherlands we don't have the E6000s or Gorilla Glue, like a lot of you are calling. But that's not glue what we have over here. So I have to do it with this one. So I'm going to glue this on top of our bottom like this. So just let it dry in for a little moment, And then I'm going to turn it over and place it on top of here, and then we're going to make the top of our box, and then we are finished. So now it dried in for a little moment, so I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to look where I want to have it exactly, because I want to keep it try as in the middle I can have it. So of course a little sideways like this, and then I let it dry. I show it to you this way. You see he's on the bottom right now, and I'm going to let this dry, and then we're going to make our roof, and then we are finished. And you can see finally the end reveal. For the top I did the same like we did the other frame, just 2, 2, 2 and 2. So very easy, just a thing. And he will be a little bit, if you lay him on top, he will be a little bit smaller than your boxes, and I like that because it gives a little bit more structure on the top. What I'm going to do before I'm going to glue my picture, of course, behind it, I'm going to do it in some furniture wax. And again, not the back side, only the front side and the middle side. The furniture wax is placed on and wiped off, so everything is gone, the same like we did with the other one. Turn it over. Of course, we are going to do some Mod Podge again on the sides, like we did also with the sides. So if you don't want to see this, please go forward, because I totally understand, and go over to the end reveal like this. And we are going to place the picture. We are made especially for the top because there are no text on it. So I'm going to place it on top of here like this. And you see we just made a very easy bunny which is coming out of some eggs. And we are going to place it in the middle again like this. And we're going to look if we don't see the white lines of our frame. So this is okay, and I'm going to keep it, glue it on top of our box, and you see in a moment the end reveal. And here you see finally the end reveal of our picture box. And I know it was a little bit of a long one, but I always love to tell you the possibilities which you can do with this DIY. And of course you can change them up anything you like, of any way you like. Of course, do whatever you think is fitting for your decor. For me, this is the Easter season, but of course in a moment I show this to you a little bit closer. Before we go further to our next DIY inspiration, I have to tell you that this video is also part of a beautiful get-together which is called What Would You Make? This get-together is hosted by the beautiful Zana from OK at Home DIY and the beautiful Connie from Connie Creative Creations. The month host for this month is of course the beautiful Marika from Marika Creations. I will link down below in our description box the link for all the 3 beautiful ladies, and of course don't forget to watch the playlist with tons and tons of beautiful inspiration for you what you can do with wood. So go check it out. For now, enough talking. Let's go to our next DIY.
Hey, Diane here. Let's craft. I want to work with wood today, and I'm going to use these sticks for that job. Just keep them in a package. Oh, well, this isn't exactly a stick. This is just a piece of a frame that I think I once used. What is that doing here? Here are some leftovers, and here we have a lot of paint stir sticks that I'm going to use. This will be a photo frame. Could be a nice idea for Mother's Day, for example, for birthday, or just for decoration in your home. Now, let's see, what do we want to use? I think this is perfect because we're going to use these 2 here at the back. You're not going to see it when you're doing it like this. So these are leftovers. Let's put them back. And these one here will be glued. Of course, I will turn them over because this is the good side and we don't want to glue on this side. And then we have to line them out. Before we start assembling everything. Just like this. Oh, no, this thing will be of use. Well, let's see on the crafting mat if everything is straight, and then we can start gluing. I have the glue here. This is the fake Mod Podge that I like to use. It's from Action and it's 17 times cheaper than real Mod Podge here. I also have a brush and those leftover pieces. Now, let's just put some glue upon it, and then I'm going to put them upon the... If you hear weird background noises, that's wind. It's a really windy day here. If you're wondering why I'm not using my glue gun, because I want it to be really solid, and then this is just slightly better in my opinion than the glue gun, but that's really depending on what the quality of your glue is. The glue sticks that fit in this thing of the little aren't the best if you want to, you know, put a heavy weight upon it. No, let's just glue this down. Now I have shaky hands again today. Let's glue it down, and then I put a heavy object upon it, and then I wait, I think about an hour or two maximum, and hopefully then everything has been glued together, so we can start working further. Now the last one here, just like this. Now I'm reusing those old leftovers again. It's later now, and the wood is completely dry, or the glue is completely dry. So I'm going to grab my, this is brown acrylic paint, and the brush, because first I'm going to paint everything in a nice brown layer. You can also use beeswax, but I want to distress it, and that's a little bit difficult with the beeswax. Oh, this is still closed package. Open it up like that. I'm just going to pour a little bit of paint, and if we need extra, then we can always pour some extra paint. I'm going to paint the whole thing. The wood is dry, the brown paint is dry. And now I'm going to distress it, and therefore I have this, old paint roller actually. What I want to do is just slightly dab it onto the paint. Now there is way too much paint. Oh, I thought, yeah, here it is. I thought I had a cup here. Just going to dab a little bit on the inside of that cup. What I'm going to do now is just slightly touch the sides so you get a distressed look. Don't have to press hard, just lightly, and then this is what you get. Now this is the most hardest part. Good, that was the base. Now carefully let it fall without touching the paint. And what you can do now, just dab it off some more, is just slightly start brushing on the edges in the direction of the wood. And I hope you can see a little bit what I mean. Just really lightly, back and forth. Look, and then you get a distressed look as well. Normally I did it with a brush, but this is also an option. Here is the result. Well, now we will have to let it dry, and then we can go to the next step. Next step, wooden Jenga blocks. I'm going to put this away because we're going to need that later. First I want to assemble, actually picture frames for Jenga blocks. And I believe I can make some really nice ones. By just doing this. And of course I'm going to glue them together like this. Do that upon the table because that surface is flat, and this one isn't completely because I once used a blow dryer and it started to get wobbling then. I'm going to assemble two of these, actually block things, and then I'm going to put them upon the wooden frame that we made from the paint stir sticks. Blocks are ready, and it's the idea that I'm going to put them on the frame like this. First I want to paint them, so this one is going to lay here, and I kept that paint foam roller ready for another type of paint job. I'm going to use this as some sort of stamp sponge thing. And to paint the wood with, just like so. First do the sides, and then I always do the top section, or at least I try. Sometimes I forget that. And by doing it like this, you can better cover up the gaps in the wood. And also, I think it looks pretty nice. I'm going to paint it all. Blocks are now completely white, the paint is dry, and I'm going to distress it with a little bit of beeswax. So I have my beeswax brush here. Just put some, it's a bit of a lot of beeswax. I always try to dab the excess part out in the lid, and then I just start first the edges. Don't forget to do these sides as well. This one here, and then you can just follow the lines of the wood, which are these lines for the sides, and the rest in the middle here you can do it like this. A little bit more distressing here at the edges. And that's it. Good, the distressing is done, everything is dry. I'm going to use this glue here to put the blocks upon the paint stir sticks. So just apply a lot of wood or glue upon the wood and then start brushing it. Like this. Now carefully put it up. I'll lay this thing back because I need those lines here upon the crafting mat to see where I want to place it, which is in the center of this thing here. And I'll let the other one already there where it should be. So, done. Heavy object upon it, let the glue dry, and then we're ready for the last step. Almost there with the DIY. I only want to attach a string here on the back. I'm going to do that with the hot glue gun I have here. I also want to glue down these two clothespins. Well, let's say here in the center, So you can hang up photos or anything else you'd like to hang up there. And I also have white letters here. I'm going to write down fun. I'm doing it in the wrong direction, I think. Oh no, it's not possible. It's the same on both sides. Something like this would be nice. And I'm going to glue everything together. So we have a finished DIY. Everything almost is made out of wood, only not this. And here the iron in those clothespins, but the rest is totally wood, and I like that. And here you see how the DIY turned out. Just waited until it was daylight again, so you can properly see how it looks. Really like how the distressing turned out. And yeah, we're curious what you think of this. Let us know in the comment section below.
And this was it already for today's DIY inspiration. I hope you enjoyed it, and like I said earlier, if you like this content, click the red subscribe button and join our YouTube family and give it a thumbs up. You will find the links down below, and of course we wish you all a beautiful day. Stay safe. See you next time. Bye.